Only 17% of the 2,600 delegates here at the World Economic Forum are women. Perhaps a stark reminder of the sharp gender inequality that still exists at the workplace. Hello and welcome to this very special panel discussion. I'm Shweta Rajpal Kohli, and with us here, very special women to talk about the gender gap and what needs to be done to close that gap. Let me introduce our panelists. Professor Sheena Iyengar. She is really the head of the Global Leadership Program at the Columbia Business School, and of course Professor of Business, very well known for her theory of choice. Ashni Mahanot, founder and CEO of Enzi. Also Professor Catherine Klein, Vice Dean of the Wharton Social Impact Initiative, and Pooja Jain, Executive Director of the Luxor Group. Thank you all for being with us here. Professor Sheena Iyengar, if I could start by asking you, a figure of 17% even at a forum like the World Economic Forum, where there is, we are told, a gender quota system, is perhaps a realization that we still have a very, very long way to go before we can truly say that we are moving towards gender equality.
Yeah, I would agree with that, although I would also say that I don't think it's that women who have had achievements are excluded from World Economic Forum. I don't think that the World Economic Forum is going out of its way to not invite women that have things to contribute.
But at the same time, corporates, because at the end of the day, it's also about how many leadership positions women are really occupying, Professor Iyengar, because we're told that the World Economic Forum makes it mandatory that for every 4 men that the forum sends here to Davos, 1 has to be a woman. So 1 in every 5 delegates coming from a single company has to be a woman. So would you even approve of a quota system? Is that what we need really at this time?
Well, one of the things that we're seeing, which I think Catherine can also talk to this, is that when you look at the Fortune 500 companies, the more that they do put women in higher positions, not only does it serve as a good role model for other women, but even more importantly than that, it actually helps the returns of that company.
Right.
Right? I mean, Catherine can probably speak to this even more so than I can, but it's estimated that a company's overall profits can go up anywhere from 18 to 69%. So I think it's just generally good business.
Is it just good business, or does it go beyond the whole addressing the issue of gender inequality? Does it make business sense to have women as leaders?
Oh, absolutely, it makes business sense. I mean, one way to think about this is simply you're expanding the pool of talent, right. The potential pool. You're doubling the potential pool of talent that you can draw upon. So when you say, well, I'm going to exclude, when one says implicitly or explicitly, these people are not, I'm not considering these people as potential talent, you're limiting the draw.
Actually, is it all about women hitting a glass ceiling, the fact that they're simply not offered those top board positions, or is it also a matter of choice? And I'm sure Professor Iyengar can add to the whole theory of choice, but is it also a matter of choice that just the fact that the dual responsibilities that women have just lead them to perhaps quitting midway, perhaps not taking up some of those more important positions, or do you think that's just as an excuse?
Well, I think that actually in India particularly, women are sometimes discouraged from moving up the career ladder because of, are you planning to get married? Are you planning to have a baby in the next 2 years? And that is actually sometimes part of the decision whether to hire or not. Right. I think that definitely needs to change in India. And the problem is when women are sort of sensitized that early on, they might it might look like choice when they may drop out of the workplace, but it often is almost a forced choice. And Sheryl Sandberg actually talks about this. She's here at Davos, so she has some really great things to say about this.
Yes, Sheryl Sandberg, of course, is one of those huge role models for working women. But also, you do a lot of work on education. How do you think the education landscape is changing to ensure that we're moving more and more towards gender equality at the workplace?
Well, I think education in India is actually very tied to skill development now, more than anything else, which is directly tied to industry jobs. Yes. And so I think it's really important now, especially when you're developing skill development programs in India through the NSDC and other government agencies, that we do think of the careers that women might take on and also bring them into careers they're traditionally not in. So, for example, I'm here as part of the Global Shapers community, which is part of the World Economic Forum's newest group of young people around the world who are their newest constituents.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for Retina display. Full screen view. faster response time, and Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.